Welcome everyone to Just Browsing, the show where we rip off Whose Lines It Anyways intro, and you have to see my background now because I lost my green screen. How do you even do that? I don't know, but I did. Some of you may be wondering why I'm not working on Iggy right now. Instead, I'm browsing the internet. Well, that's partially because Denver currently has the worst air quality in the world. As always, though, I can use every Colorado's favorite excuse and blame that on California, because California is currently on fire. Again. At least it's not Colorado this time, I guess, or something, right? I don't know. It's all terrible. Everything's terrible. Welcome to our new show. Everything's terrible. But you know what things weren't terrible? The 90s. Man, I miss the 90s. I know I was a kid, so nostalgia for sure, but everything just seemed more simple. The president got a blowjob. It was the worst thing in the world. And while everybody right now is crazy for 80s cars, 90s cars could be the next thing around. So, let's get on Craigslist and see what we can find in the 90s category. Maybe something we think might appreciate in value. Alright, here we are. Denver cars and trucks for sale. Keeping it local, keep it in the Denver area. Let's see here. First of all, I need to change my model year. 1990 to 1999. We're going to party like it's 1999 up in this B. All right. Oh, man, I'm seeing all sorts of good stuff already. And by good stuff, I mean trash. 90s cars were kind of trash in general, but nostalgia does weird things to people, So first thing I see is this 90s Sunfire. In a field where it belongs. 230,000 miles, just won't start for some reason. I'm not sure why. Because it's a Sunfire. And it has 230,000 miles. Bad starter? Well, that depends. Is it a crank no start or does it not crank not start? Just depends. Let's take a better look at these pictures. So it's a 2200. That's the... Man, I think that may have been a cam in block 2.2 liter 4-cylinder. Yeah, I don't even think that was a single overhead cam now I'm thinking of it. It's been a long time since I've seen a 2200 though. It looks pretty clean. It's a coupe. It's an auto, which sucks. Back when I was in high school, early high school, so I was just about getting ready to have my driver's license. My uncle had one of these, black one, GT, with the manual transmission, and I wanted it so badly, but, he ended up trying to sell it for, some ridiculous amount of money that high school me couldn't afford, so, it's a 6-cylinder. 6-cylinder, yeah. But I do kind of have a soft spot for the J-bodies still, a little bit. They are pretty bad cars, but I don't know. I think you can make that cool. Imagine one of those, kitted out like what people do today, not stanced, but definitely more aggressive wheel tire setup, lowered. Keep it clean. Don't do a crazy body kit or anything. I don't know. Personally, I think you can make that thing pretty nice. Not with that engine, of course, although that may be an iteration of the old Iron Duke engine, and those things were super stout. People were racing those way back in the day, building them up. I know Smokey Unick, the NASCAR guy everybody knows. I'm pretty sure that was him. He built a hot air turbocharged Iron Duke engine. Pretty much not only did he not intercool the turbocharger, he also made it so that way the air charge was extra hot. I don't know. He did some crazy stuff. It was actually pretty efficient. Never caught on, though. Probably because it would, burst into flames. All right. Going back, let's see what else we got here. Audi Avant A4 Turbo Wagon. I don't know if that's actually from the 90s, is it? Oh, no, 99. Just on our cut. I know people that would love this car. 4-cylinder, 5-valve turbo, wagon. It is an auto, so it's not like the press journalist dream of the manual wagon, but I know a lot of people that'd be excited about that car. Needs work, overheating. It might be something simple, honestly. I don't know if those ones really had any head gasket issues. I'm not a huge expert on these older Audis, but that might be a pretty good deal for somebody. There's lots of trucks. Ooh, F-250 diesel. Is it a manual? Oh man, I kind of want this truck. But as you can see, these old trucks are starting to go for some ludicrous money. $21,000. I don't know if that truck cost $21,000 when it was new. To Google we go. So according to Google, depending on your options, yeah, that truck would cost less than $20,000. About $20,000 was the going rate, it seems like, on average. So the fact that this truck didn't depreciate at all after 157,000 miles is ludicrous. It's insane. Now, granted, this is August 2021 when this is going up, or when I'm recording this for future reference, and car prices are just insane right now. And this is a dealer, so it's got a lot of things going against it. But the bottom of that door looks pretty crunchy right there. That's got to be some rust right there. Maybe I'll get a closer up picture. But that being said, I would love this truck. Like, there's a reason these trucks are going for so much money. This engine is probably one of the best diesels ever made. It's definitely not the most powerful by any means, but they go forever. And this one, 157,000, it's barely broken in, honestly. Combine that with the manual transmission, which is also just completely stout and has no problems. This truck will it's the perfect truck. It just keeps going and going and going. Now, compared to modern trucks, yeah, luxury wasn't in their vocabulary back then. This is a work truck. It does work truck things. So if you're expecting some new Ford, what do they even call those? The King, Cobra, Ranch, blah, whatever the hell they call them these days. Oh man, look at that. It even has the plastic or the vinyl flooring so you can just wash it out. This is the perfect work truck. I want this. This would be perfect as a tow rig. Oh man. Oh, and a fifth wheel hitch. All right, perfect. Already good to go. I also have a soft spot for this generation Ford because my dad back in the day had a single cab short bed F-150 with the 5-liter lifted on some big tires, and I love that truck. It was also a manual. I did not learn to drive. Well, I drove that a little bit. No offense to my dad, he wasn't a great teacher when it came to showing me how to drive a manual. Because to him, it was easy. It was just like, oh, you just let out the clutch and give it some gas. But every time I tried that, I'd either give it way too much gas or not enough gas. And then he'd get frustrated and, it wasn't a great time. Eventually, I learned how to drive a manual just by buying a Miata and just going to the dealer and driving it off. Anyways, that's enough of that story. I want that truck, but I'm not going to pay $21,000 for it. My God. There's actually quite a few old trucks on here. The Ram 3500 with a Cummins and a manual. That's also a great combo. This truck is another one that will just run forever. But once again, $23,000. I ain't going to do it. 98 CRV. Is it a manual? No, it's an automatic. I do still want a first-gen manual CRV. Put a bunch of Civic suspension in it and make it into a rallycross car. That's all I'm going to put there. Like that's that simple. I love those things. It's basically, the CRV is a second-gen Civic Wago van. Tell me I'm wrong. All right, we're getting into some interesting stuff now. First of all, the Dodge Grand Caravan high-top conversion. I don't know if I've ever seen a Caravan with a high-top. You see the big vans, but I don't know if I've ever seen a Caravan like that. Those side skirts make me cringe already just because I know if I had to lift that on a hoist, it would take about, 7 hours to get the hoist set up. But I don't hate that. 165,000 miles. Automatic. Oh, look at all that wood, tacked on wood trim. This is definitely by the same company that did all the other conversions. Oh, that's your overhead console. Like, what is the point? Oh, hold on. Let me go back to that picture. Let me blow these up. Why am I doing these in small screen? I don't know, because I watch YouTube videos in small screen all the time. Never do full screen. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, I don't know what the point of these little wood pieces down here is, but that's not a bad van, though. That's not a bad van at all. I would camp in that. Oh, look at the old TV. Look at the old TV and the VCR. This thing is a time capsule. Oh, man. My buddy Mike, when I was in high school, well, middle school, actually, when we started hanging out. His parents had a full-size conversion van that was a lot like this. The TV still works. It's amazing. Missing a screw up here, but that's okay. And yeah, while this is of course the smaller version, it just brings back a lot of memories of. I remember riding. What city we were going to? I think we were going to Cass City in Michigan, and I remember on the way we watched on the black and white TV that was black and white. Like this, the movie we were watching was in black and white too, but that TV was actually just a black and white TV. Regardless, we watched Young Frankenstein. We were some cultured children. How much they want for this thing? $8,000 in Erie. I gotta send this to my buddy. He's looking for something to haul around his kids in, and I mean, if you're gonna do it right, do it in style. Oh, that was better than I was expecting. The other thing that caught my eye was they're only $3,200. Okay, because it has 232,000 miles on it. Blow those pictures up. Man, I do love me some old Nissan pickups. They are incredibly slow. Like, I would love to get a truck like this, but the only problem is with, I think I've said it before on just browsing videos, is I want to be able to tow. Like, if I get a pickup truck, I want to also be able to tow my race car. And this thing, it just wouldn't do it. This is your, typical daily driver pickup truck, even with that 3-liter, or maybe, it might be a 3.3 right now. That's a close-up of the carpet. Look at the grain on that carpet. I mean, I'd take a picture of that carpet too. I think it's in good shape. Somebody clearly cleaned this thing up for 232,000 miles. Zappin'! I don't know what zappin' is. Ooh, good. Aftermarket sunroof. That won't leak at all. Non-cracked dash. Door panel looks like garbage. Ooh, yeah. Well, this isn't the throttle body. Okay, never mind. I saw the ECCS, and it brought back some bad memories of working on a throttle body injected Nissan truck. Man, those throttle body injection units in those old ones were terrible. Oh my goodness. But this is port injection. This is the 3.3. It's not a bad engine. It's a VG, the same thing that came in the Z's at the time. It's definitely not a bad engine. They just didn't really make that much power. So, and it's a smaller pickup. It's just not going to tow, like I said. Man, they took good care of it for that kind of mileage, though. I'll give them that. And only $3,200. That's pretty cheap for a small pickup truck these days. All right, what else do we have on here? We have a 4-wheel drive Ford E350 camper van. I'm going to look at it. $50,000. But I do think we're going to get a van at some point. So this is a home-built conversion. Not the worst I've seen, but definitely not worth 50 G's. Although it is clean, and it only has 130,000 miles. And it's a diesel. Okay, yeah, he'll get that. He'll get that. I do want a camper, though. I want a camper that can tow. Like, if I'm not going to get... Man, why are there so many of these old Ford diesel trucks on here? Sorry, the ADHD kicked in there, but holy crap. That's a lot. This one's only $15,000, which is a steal compared to the other one. Oh, it's an automatic. I don't want an automatic. I don't want to deal with rebuilding the automatic all the time. And it's a single cab, although that is a good-looking truck. You cannot tell me that is not a good-looking truck. Back when trucks were trucks, they were square, they were tall, they were rugged. That's a man's truck right there. Anyways, back to the point I was making. We're going to get a van, I think, and use that to tow the race car, so that way we can also stay in it. Just came back from Grid Life not that long ago, and man, it would have been nice to have a hard-shelled camper to stay in instead of trying to tent it up and stuff like that. Did just see a 240SX though. Okay, 15,000. What? This is actually not a bad deal. I know 15,000 for an S13 seems S14. S14. Like 10 years ago would have been absolutely ridiculous. This would have been $500. But it's a 96. It's fairly low mileage. It has a VH45 swap. It has the Rocket Bunny Boss kit on it, which from these pictures, why don't I pull these up again? From these pictures, doesn't look all that bad. It looks fairly well done. It was gold at one time, it looks like. There's not wiring everywhere, so somebody did a decent job. Like, look, the throttle cable is actually like, you know, bolted to the firewall or bolted to the engine where it's supposed to be. Yeah, somebody did a pretty wow, and the interior is pretty clean too. And a non-cracked dash. For 15 grand? I gotta say, that's actually a pretty good deal. Somebody better snag this up. Asking 15,000 or best offer. So you might be able to get it like 14. That's a lot of car. 4.5 liter V8 rear wheel drive coupe. Yeah, no, that wins, right? That's the one that's going to appreciate. If I wanted to find a vehicle that would appreciate, although those pickups probably would have as well. I think that's it. It's going to keep going up. Ugh. And it's a clean title. It's not even a like freaking rebuilt title, which they all are now. Huh. Man, I wish I had money and room for these things. This is the only problem with the Just Browsing series. I find all these things that I want to buy, and I don't have space for. Okay. 3.4 VZ swap Toyota Tacoma. I guess this is probably before it was a Tacoma, right? Oh, it's from a 4Runner. You would think I would know that. I work on those all the time. I just don't know what the designation is. But once again, another great small pickup. This one is a little trashed, but only 5 grand. Which in today's day and age of crazy pricing isn't the worst. I'm not going to spend too much time on that though. GS sedan. Looks a little trashed, 163, and an automatic, and he wants 3 grand. Nope, I am good. I will skip that for sure. Another F-250 in a manual. This one's a gasser though. So is there an underhood shot? No underhood shot. Probably 7.5. Man, that's a big ass fucking. Is that a big block? I don't know. I don't know much about the early Fords. Custom 49 Ford on Mustang GT convertible. This is something, huh? I mean, the front end looks good. The side profile is garbage. The wheels are garbage. The back end is okay. And with the top up, it looks even worse. Even worse. It is not good. What is it? The door handles aren't even on it? It has no door handles. So clearly this is a project. Let's read. We call her Maybelline. Because maybe it's Maybelline? I don't know. She's a stunning one-of-a-kind automobile ready for the perfect car guy who wants a truly unique showstopper at an affordable price. This car guy is excited about taking a mostly completed custom-built car to its final spectacular state. I don't know where this voice is coming from, but I like it. She's a 94 GT Mustang convertible with a fiberglass body. With a custom fiberglass 49 Ford body. She is a Mustang with a front tilt hood and a rear tail section grafted over it. Ooh, it just grafted over it? Does that mean underneath here, underneath all this, there's just still a Mustang under there? Oh man, that'd be great. I'm not going to read this whole thing. The car was developed as a prototype for future conversions, but proved to be too difficult to assemble and would be cost prohibitive. Blah blah blah. We moved to Mexico, so I ran out of time to complete this project. Blah blah blah. 7,500. Somebody's gonna buy that. In fact, I think I'll excuse the wheels because it is a project. So these are probably just to roll it around on. But yeah, you get that thing lowered on some right wheels. Okay, I think it would actually look pretty good. Because it does have like this chop top look to it because of just how high the door panels sit and everything compared to normal. In fact, you can kind of see in the background here, the red was the original Mustang, and then it goes up another like 2-3 inches to give it that chop top look. That is gonna kind of suck. I mean, look where the headrest is. Yeah, so that would kind of suck if you like to cruise with your arm out the window because you're gonna be cruising like this. Which is not a comfortable look, but all right, well, that's something. It's something. 1990 Mighty Max. This is basically what the Dodges were. Dodge pickups were also Mitsubishis because Dodge and Mitsubishi were just like the same thing for a long time. they're kind of garbage and I don't like them because I don't like old Mitsubishis all that much, unless they're DSMs. And I have a soft spot for them, of course. What else we got? Mustang Cobra. That might appreciate. That might appreciate. This is, of course, it's already appreciating. Defender 110. Wow, complete frame off, huh? Yeah, a lot of work done to this thing, it looks like. Ooh, those seats are nice. The, is that like baseball glove leather? I mean, when he's pointing out chips like this, you know, this guy takes really good care of this thing. The Defenders, I'll give the Defenders that. They're, you know, super basic. It's basically a Jeep, you know, kind of thing. It's not like a fancy Land Rover or Range Rover where there's so much stuff there that it just breaks all the time. Although, remember, it is still British at the end of the day, so one thing is, it's what he wants $55,000 for it. It's way too nice. Like, yeah, I guess he goes camping in it, but man, I'd be afraid to go camping. Like, I'd be afraid to take that thing off road because I'm gonna chip it and take $10,000 off its value. Toyota Hilux. Oh, it's in Sacramento. I don't give a shit. I hate when people do that. Don't be putting that stuff on, like, from other areas. Is it local? Yes, then I care about it. Like this, Jacksonville, Florida. I don't care. Do not care. Okay, this is number 2 and number 3 of the Eurovan pop-up campers that are on here. And surprisingly, it seems like they're going down in price. I feel like these were more expensive just a few years ago. Once again, this is like, I would love this. It's a full camper, got the little kitchen set up. You know, you got your bed with the pop top, it's a manual. Like, I'd love this, but of course that's not going to tow a race car, so it's kind of useless to me. But yeah, I guess those are going down in price. That is kind of surprising. Corvette, 97 Corvette base model for $16,000, and it's an automatic? No, thank you. This is some dealer that thinks they have something special. Here we go. Here's something interesting. Here's something very interesting. Oldsmobile Achievia. If you're not from the Midwest, you might not even know what this car is, because I remember these cars. These were all over the place when I was growing up. Well, not all over the place, but fairly common. Out here, though, not so much. 3100, good engine, not much power, 160 horsepower out of that thing. 3.1 liters, 160 horsepower. How do you get 160 horsepower? Only 160 horsepower out of a 3.1? Well, you put the cam in the block, you give it shitty heads, and yeah, that's pretty much the greatest thing to do. Also, those exhaust manifolds were terrible. They flowed nothing. But it was a fairly reliable engine once you replaced the intake manifold gaskets. And I always liked the way these cars looked. Little coupe. Like, I don't know, it's an SC. It isn't automatic, right? Yeah, automatic. They did make these in a quad 4 manual. So the quad 4 was GM's like hot 4-cylinder at the time. And a manual transmission on it. It was actually a pretty good little car as far as performance goes, but still nobody remembers them. I'd rather take the 3100 with a manual because the quad 4 had a lot of issues. But yeah, I don't know. It's a fine little car, but they never caught on. If that was a manual, I would think about picking that up. How much do they want? $1,100. Yeah, okay. Well, it does have mechanical issues and does need to be towed. It has blah, blah, blah. Oh, only 111,000 miles. Doesn't say what those mechanical issues are, though, so that's just concerning. I know if you don't take care of those, they can have head gasket issues. But honestly, there's not much that you can't just fix with like some gaskets and stuff. Also, man, I need to work on the lighting here, don't I? My face is all washed out. Yeah, $1,100, man. I might buy that up if I had some more space. Just some nostalgia there. Haven't worked on a 3100 in some years. Thunderbird 4Runner manual for $7,777. XJ. What else we got here? What else is really interesting and drawing my eye? Actually, that Thunderbird's kind of drawing my eye. It is an auto, but it is a 4.6. This is basically a Mustang underneath. Once again, don't really know why these didn't catch on. I mean, you can't really tell from these pictures because whoever took these pictures is terrible at taking pictures. Welcome to Craigslist, where, okay, I have a theory I want to test out sometime. I want to find a car on Craigslist that just has really shitty pictures, like just terrible pictures. I want to buy it. I want to do nothing with it besides give it a good photo shoot, ask like $1,000 more, and see if I get it. Just as an experiment. Yeah, I don't know why these Thunderbirds never really caught on. Like, there were a lot of them, but nobody ever modified. Nobody ever did, like, performance mods to them, and I just don't understand why. I wouldn't be surprised if you see more of these being modified, though. There's just not a whole lot of rear-wheel drive V8 coupes around, and, hey, when you can get this one for $4,500 compared to a Mustang of the same gen that you can get for, like, $8,000, starts to have its appeal, right? Lifted Land Cruiser, which is kind of cool, but I don't care. 328 convertible I don't care about. That was just page 1. Man, I haven't been on Craigslist in a while, but it seems like things are popping right now. Outback 5-speed on some 1552s. Okay. And has some shitty fender flares and some cutout fenders. So, you know, some kid got a hold of this for sure. There's 3 pictures, thanks. Runs a little rough. He wants $5K. Sorry, bud, but your wheels and your flares don't add value to that car. So, good luck with the sale, I guess, is what all I'm saying. Chevy Tracker ZR2. Oh, it's a 4-door. Man, if that was a 2-door. These are basically Suzuki Samurai, and I like them more than I probably should. Ooh, adds a manual. I would rock this. Fuck yeah, I'd rock this. All-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. Little mini SUV. This is also a Suzuki Escudo, if you don't know. Like the famous Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak car was a Chevy Tracker. I mean, it was a Chevy Tracker. But still, you know, that means this Tracker has more racing heritage than a lot of like performance cars, which I think is funny. This is not here, but Delicas, these, you know, Delicas and mini pickups are popping up everywhere for sale now, which isn't a bad thing, except when you want $6,000 for a, you know, mini K truck. What else we got? Z28 convertible. Man, in high school I would have killed for one of these. Now I'm just kind of like, yeah. There are a lot of weird American brand stuff on here today. Chrysler 300M. Once again, not a car you see at all anymore. I always thought this version of the Chrysler platform I always thought was pretty ugly. And I hate that engine. I don't like these cars at all. It's just weird to see it, is all. This, though, ooh. Oh, 3.1, 5-speed manual, hard top, Z24 Cavalier. I am more excited about this than I should be. No, seriously, that is okay. Okay, this guy has lots of spare parts to go with it. No airbag, it's pre-airbags. So it has these dumb door seat belts. So, for those who don't know, in the early 90s, the government specified now that you now are required to either run some form of passive restraint system. Passive restraint systems could be automatic seatbelts or airbags. So that's why a lot of 90s cars have those automatic seatbelts on the mechanical track that comes along and cinches you down to the seat. And they always break, of course. But GM decided to do something a little different. I didn't know they did these on the J bodies back in the day. I didn't realize it, but I knew on the Coupe W bodies they did this. So what you're supposed to do, because the seatbelt is attached to the door, you take the latch here and you latch it. And then when you just leave that latched all the time. And then when you open the door, it pulls the seatbelt out. You like slink your way in there, which was like hard to do. And then you close the door. I remember when I was in college, my one professor had a really bad joke. He was like, well, you always make sure you hold the door open for ladies on these cars because when they get in, the seatbelt catches their skirt and moves their skirt up. He was a strange old man. None of us laughed, by the way. Like, even young college men were like, bro, you're kind of creepy. Anyways, point is, this was their passive restraints. You leave that clipped in, and you have automatic seat belts. That way they didn't have to do any airbags. Now, of course, you could just unlatch the seatbelt, so it wasn't actually an automatic seatbelt at all, but it was enough for the government. So, yeah, no, I like this. 3.1 liter. No engine shot, unfortunately, but that's fine. How many miles are on this? 67,000 miles. Oh, he wants almost 8 G's for it. Wow. Not sure what's going on here and why all of a sudden the video is super grainy and makes me look old. Seriously, it gained like, it's got like giving me like more wrinkles and spots than I normally even have. Isn't it supposed to do the opposite? Isn't this supposed to like beautify you? Not uglify? Whatever. I don't give a shit. It's just going on the internet for everybody to see. Who cares? Anyways, point is, the video died because I ran out of space on my phone. So we should probably wrap this up pretty quickly, huh? Anyways, back to this Cavalier. I want it. I don't want to pay $8,000 for it though, but holy shit, that is a time capsule. And here's the thing. Here's the thing with the 3.1 liter that nobody really knows is they actually take the boost pretty well. Not a ton of boost. No, it's not like a 2J or something like that where you can just like put in crap tons of boost and be fine. But they respond pretty well to like 5 PSI. And hey, it's not going to be out there beating, turbo Civics and stuff like that, but it'd be a fun little car. Nobody would expect it to ever be kind of quick. And you could upgrade that, because there's the other thing about the 3.1 liter, is that is GM's 60-degree V6, which started with the 2.8 liter back in the 80s, most commonly known for being in the Fiero, and ended in like 2008 with like a 3.5 liter version with like active cylinder management and all this bullshit. It's crazy how long that engine lasted. So you can put one of the newer engines in it, get quite a bit more power, because they did, try to increase the power out of them, and then install a turbo, and hey, it's a 5-speed too. That's really awesome. Lots of spare parts. This guy's very serious about this price though. Current market value with the new spare parts and tires is $7,500. Hopefully it doesn't sell, and hopefully I see this for sale again in another 6 months when prices are plummeting and I can get it for $5,000, because I might do that. That'd be a good daily driver. All right, let's just get through the rest of this page. I'm going to call it a day because I was not expecting this much cool stuff, honestly. So now watch there be absolutely nothing cool left, and we're going to wrap this up right away. Nope, I lied. There's plenty of cool stuff, like this 528 wagon in a manual. Oh man, 9 Gs, but that is super clean. On the basket weave tires, manual 528. So this is the slowest version of the 5 Series, but it's a wagon, so who cares? No interior pictures, which is scary. Just bad pictures in general, and he wants $9,000 for this. People, if you're going to be asking more than $2,000 for a car, take some good pictures, because I don't want to show up to look at this car and suddenly look at the interior and it's trashed. Okay, take good pictures, especially if you're like, oh, price is firm. Comes with an extra set of M5 wheels with winter tires. Wait, what? These aren't M5 wheels. So you got M5 wheels, but put winter tires on those, but put summer tires on the smaller. Whatever, man. You do you. You do you. All right. Then I did want to see what this Chevy Camaro street strip thing is. Okay, so it has some good rear suspension. It's very well set up underneath. Fuel cell, 4-link. Is that a 4-link or is that a 3-link? I don't know. I don't really give a shit. Bucket seats, gutted, aluminum dash, roll cage, full cage. Okay. Big old engine. Are we going to see the exterior of the car at any moment? I don't think we are. I think the guy forgot to put exterior pictures of the car on here. I do appreciate people, putting all these underside pictures on. That's very nice. That way you can see. But yeah, I'd like to see what the exterior of the car looks like for $20,000. Thank you. People, People, come on. 20 grand though. Hey, 20 grand for a fully set up street strip Camaro. That's not the worst I could think of. Okay, here is why that other Corvette for $16,000 was a ridiculous price. 99 supercharged manual Vet for 13. And this thing looks like it would be a riot. I'm getting to like Corvettes more and more. I'm going to start wearing New Balance shoes soon, aren't I? No, I think I like them more and more just because of the price. The price is finally starting to make sense to me. The interior is still atrocious. I hate the interior. I hate those seats. I hate everything about that dashboard. But I could ignore it for a supercharged LS with Stop Tech brakes, better wheels, Sport Cup 2s. Those are actually really good tires. Hold on. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Something's missing, isn't it? There is no supercharger on this thing. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. Oh. It just hasn't been installed yet. Okay, it comes with the supercharger. Fine. It comes with the supercharger, at least. It's a Vortec unit. This guy has some nice toys. Man, I want this guy's life. Let's see. Let me read this novel real quick and I'll get back to you. Okay, so that's a long-winded way of saying it says the third owner, it has some upgrades, and that he planned on supercharging it, but he never did. LS1 with LS6 heads and intake, bigger clutch. I mean, it's set up well. I did like this. All three owners in the past were ASE certified. But yeah, I don't know. Like for $13,000, okay, if you had the choice between that and that S14, I'm going to go with the Vet. Sorry, I love a Nissan. I am a Nissan fanboy, but that's just too much. That's too much car for the price. I could sell my Fiesta and buy that. Kind of want to. Not going to lie. I mean, I couldn't make the deal on time, of course, because I'm sure that's going to be sold pretty quickly, but man, that's a good deal. I guess that's why supercharger was in quotes, because it comes with a supercharger. This isn't in Denver, is it? No, this is in Washington. But once again, $18,000 for a single turbo RB25 Skyline sedan. Now that will give you a lot more street cred for sure than that Corvette will, but this is why Corvettes make sense. Corvettes make sense at this point. Del Sol. Del Sol for $5,000. Oh, it's an automatic. D series automatic. Those fucking floor mats though, man. Those floor mats. Oh my goodness. The floor mats just sold it for me. Man, that's clean though. Das clean. No, except for the door panel. Oh, has those old red striped seats. I'd daily that. Yeah, that like the fact that it's an automatic in good shape, like the 204,000 miles, that looks nice for 204. No AC. Ooh, well, there goes its daily driver status here in Colorado. Because yeah, you need AC, man. It has been hot. It has been smoky. I can't even see the mountains from where I'm at, and normally I can see the mountains very easily. Big old what? This is actually in Denver. Okay, that's surprising. An old JDM fire truck. Like old, it's like what, a Toyota Hiace chassis then? Why? I don't know why anybody would own this. It's cool. Oh, dude, look at that cab lift. Oh my god. Okay, it is cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry, does that have 8,000 kilometers on it? I guess there weren't many fires when that thing was in service. 4-wheel drive. Now, this would be really cool to convert to a camper. Like, I'd feel kind of bad about... I wonder how much that could tow. I'm getting some bad ideas. It'd be kind of sad to take off this immaculate, fire truck back because That's what it was. This entire time was a fire truck. But maybe I could just find one of these as a bare cab chassis, build out a little camper box truck on the back, and tow the race car with it. I don't know how much horsepower this 14B diesel engine makes. Excuse me while I find out. All right, so maybe it's not going to tow a race car. 98 horsepower and 177 foot-pounds of torque. I'd be better off getting that old Nissan pickup. All right, well, never mind. Never mind. My dreams have been squashed. Still a cool truck, though. Somebody's gonna buy it. Somebody's gonna love that thing. People love their old fire trucks. All right, I guess that does it for the page. More old Ford diesels. That might be a gasser. That's a gasser. Normally they'd say if it's a diesel because more money. Although that one's going for 30 grand. Well, this one's going for 3. I mean, granted, just a V8, but like, fuck me, God. For like 20 grand more, you can get a Peterbilt. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Just Browsing. I think in terms of the vehicle we found that's going to appreciate the most, any of those pickups or that S14 is probably going to be it. As far as cars I'd like to own, that supercharged Corvette is up there on that list. There is a lot of good 90s stuff out there right now, more than I was expecting, especially. I mean, we still have, like 8 pages left we could browse through, and I probably will later because this is what I do with my free time, thus why I make these videos, because I'm going to do it anyways. Might as well. So thanks for watching Just Browsing. If you like this, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, hit the bell icon so you know when I get to make new videos. All that good stuff. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. Most importantly, be sure to check out the Religion of Speed podcast, where you can see me and Chris Huffman talk about all sorts of stuff: old cars, new cars, racing cars, philosophy, Pokemon, politics. Yeah, we branch out a little bit. Until next time, everybody. Peace.